People, I came back to this one because I don't mean to seem thoughtless, you know. I get to thinking about having been lied about. Okay, this whole thing made me so angry. It made me angry. I'm amending this. Pardon me. I had never been, I don't believe, so friggin' angry. Let me step in my coffee a little bit. I'm getting, crazy or something. Just a second. I might be able to adjust this so it's a little closer. I don't mean to come off sounding very soft, but it's an issue I've got a problem with. And most people will understand you've got a problem. Either fix it or try to go on, continue. Yes, I have an issue with having been lied about. And then later, it came to my mind that she didn't live in a place where there was a lot of electricity in use like we are in town. And I did a little search one time on a tower search engine. I forgot the name of it. Tower Man or something. Just do a search on tower antenna search engine. Do a search for that and you'll find a search engine. Anyway, there's 144 of them here in Sedalia, whereas out in the country, for instance, where we have our other house, what was it, 10 towers and antenna. And I had started to feel a little bit better out there. My spirits were up. And of course at the commune, well, they didn't have electricity, we were told, except for maybe at the old house where they actually had a landline. Okay, so then with no electricity present where you're used to, and then like thinking of shows such as the Ghostbuster shows where what was the guy's name, Steve, and it was all sponsored by like Roto-Rooter, and they were like Roto-Rooter guys by day and ghost hunters by night or something like that. And they used to come on there and explain the side effects from the EMF, electromagnetic field, also known as tower illness, tower sickness. Okay, so if she came from the commune with zero usage, basically, well, maybe one, into town where there's 144 and no one of the side effects is hallucinations, another one's nausea, headaches. Well, she didn't complain of headaches, but I'm trying to keep human here. Even though I'm angry, I don't want my angry, upset mood to cause me to seem like I'm the monster, because I'd been demonized before in my life, as some of you know, and that can make you borderline monstrous yourself if you don't get that dealt with. And some people have to medicate for it and blah blah blah. But I didn't want that to become me. Okay? So to see that side of it as a possibility, instead of just out and out calling her a liar, which I had done to me before. So, put the shoe on the other foot, right? Perhaps, seriously, the EMF played a bigger role in the destruction of our life between 93 and 95 than what we knew back then. Because we were having sightings at that house. we did have the spiritualist church called Light of the World Chapel come down from Independence or Raytown area. They were in one place and then they were in the other. She moved. Our preacher Edna. So it was between the two, somehow. Either in Independence or Raytown. And that was one of the only two of the spiritualist chapels in this state of Missouri. Not a really small place. Okay, so they would honor the flag in their ceremony every day. The Baptists will do that on special days in their church and at Bible school. They'll troop the colors at Bible school. But they don't always have an American flag up at the front. The spiritualists do. I'm not saying that has anything to do with it either. I'm just looking at it from how I'm looking at it. And I've used almost half this video on that. So that's one of the things. I didn't like being basically left to do all my own investigating. The investigator Floyd came into my house and looked at me after he talked to me one other time. Excuse me. I made a statement like, "This is the strangest rape case I've ever been on." And I'd been on rape cases for 30 years in Kansas City. Okay, what's so strange about it, Floyd? I could never get any answers. Any questions I ever had about these people's work down here, they balk, they get freaked, they get mad, they retaliate if you try to find anything out. So that will always be a thing too. What Floyd, who investigated 30 years worth of cases in Kansas City, would find this one at our house between 93 and 95 so strange. Was it that it didn't appear to be a crime scene, aside from the fact that there was no DNA sought? There's another thing. No DNA. My spouse was charged as a repeat offender, but there was no prior. We took numbers from a case in '85 that he had launched against him by a stepdaughter, and she admitted later to the judge, because she was dating the judge's son, that her and her mother concocted that whole thing. Well, he went to marital counseling on his own to try to save his second marriage with Nancy. And the girl's stepdaughter's name was Robin. Okay? He told me that he was told to go home and fulfill his fantasies on his stepdaughter. Well, see, where they lived, they had a pool. And the stepdaughter was kind of like a big thing. Down around the lake, she was on the music circuit, entertainment circuit. And John was in on that bunch there, the entertainment world. And did her probably wiring, because he said he worked for like Boxcar Willie down there, and who'd he say he ate chicken with? Ate fried chicken with someone. I forget now. I mean, it is his story, but will he survive that prison sentence and be able to tell his own story? That's 6 more years, folks. So, yeah, he toured the daughter. Anyway, back to the swim pool. She'd have little friends come over, and one of them was the bunch, the LDS bunch that we had gotten a gift from my mother of the print shop from that they ended up taking back. I was sick. He came home to check on me after me not going to work, and he went back to work after lunch and came back. I heard a key in the lock and he's back. I'm like, what? He's back? That's crazy. Because it was. He would go to work and stay until closing and then be back. Or even stay after closing if we had a big order, which sometimes we did. And meanwhile, while he was at lunch with me, they changed the locks on the print shop downtown on Main and Osage. And we didn't know what to do. People that were LDS affiliated up to their eyeballs. Then later, though, we started seeing in the newspaper where their family was like having houses, getting their houses burned down. Well, you know what I mean. Their houses were catching fire and they would be total losses. So, I mean, maybe that was payback, you know, from the powers that be. Well, no, I might as well say God. Even though the LDS aren't that big on God, because they're big on that giant salmon and their prophet, you know, Smith. But John converted to Baptist, and when the kids came, they converted to Baptist. And Karen mentioned the big secret in her deposition. I wasn't all that thrilled about her mother finding out that she had converted, because I was kind of afraid what would happen to me. You converted my daughter, you didn't even talk to me about. Her daughter went on her own. Her son went on his own. But I kind of more like think that the daughter just followed in the brother's footsteps. Because he and she, well, he was basically all she had. You know, her age, except when she started school. And she didn't really do all that well there. So when he got converted, she decided to convert. So I kind of think it was just based on monkey see, monkey do. I don't really think she felt it. But anyway. So I had converted actually 3 people from the mighty LDS fold here in Sedalia. And the judge was one of them that John had an acquaintance with when he was a priest for that religion. And then the judge's wife stepped up to be the priest, but that had always been some kind of conflict with that religion, was female priest. But she wanted that position, so I think that's part of why John had so much trouble. Or basically, we had so much trouble. And he had even stayed with that judge, or his mother. I'm not sure right now of the story. When he had gotten out of jail in the first place, because after the daughter Robin told her boyfriend, the judge's son, that her mother and her had concocted that story, John was released. And I went later to try to find information, court record, whatever, on that 1985 thing where he supposedly raped her, but was told to by his shrink that he was going to for marital problems, Marge Harlan, to go home and do that. She admitted on a paper I saw in that stuff I got in 97 from the state defenders that she used flooding on him. Flooding is brainwashing, people. Google it, please. Do us a favor, Google. Or whatever. I'll be back.